I don't know what we call ourselves, like a vegan dive restaurant. Is that a thing? Like a dive bar, but a dive restaurant?
Yeah, just vegan takeaways.
With a container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met Scott at GoBang. Yeah, I was working there and Scott came on board and we clicked. I was sort of doing quite well, I guess you could say, as a traditional chef. After 15 years in the kitchen, just thinking if I can't do vegan food, maybe try something else.
And I could see that he just had like this crazy talent and skill with food. I felt if I could provide and help him get something that he could actually be happy doing, that he'd be a beast. And I think, I think he's kind of proven that. The very first person I contacted was Russell at V1. And so I just sent him a message and was like, if I could bring you this hot dog, do you know of any sort of opportunities, any shops? He messaged me back really fast and was like, there's this car park. And I think a lot of people would have looked at this space and laughed and been like, no, because yeah, it's a car park with a gate. But I saw it and I loved it. Like, it was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we spent like 10 hours in here and then it was ready.
I think for us it was important that not only was the food sort of approachable and people wanted it, but the whole place was like, we're just ourselves.
Everything in this space has pretty much been upcycled.
For us, it wouldn't make any sense to go and buy new stuff when there's old stuff sitting around that needs a bit of love and
we try and, that's the vibe, from the art to the scrabby menus that are water stained
This is our logo. We like things that have lots of layers. So, like the top layer of it is that it's about getting your energy and your high from plants. That's the reason for everything else is just kind of a joke that we can play up. I think a lot of people feel quite isolated these days and, lost on social media and stuff. So we try and, create something where people can come get a bit of human interaction, maybe meet some new people,
Both Scott and Simon are very passionate about making changes for the benefit of animals and the environment and humans. They really are passionate about what they're doing.
So the first thing that got me interested was vegan food and how far it had come and what could be done with it. It seemed like a really awesome creative angle. I was reading a lot of Vedic texts and stuff and spirituality came into it. I didn't really want to put dead things in my body. It didn't make sense to me. I was really unhealthy. I had to go to the doctor and be like, I've got these weird pains in my chest and, I just don't feel very good. Within probably a month, I had more energy, started losing weight, just feeling better.
Predominantly, I was vegetarian before that, and it was sort of logically the next step, completely cutting all sort of animal food, all cruelty out of my consumption. It's almost like environmentalism down to like your choices as well, like not just sort of wanting something, but sort of being the change that you want to see.
I grew up in Nelson and I used to swim in the river every day. Like, we'd go up, get baked, have a swim in the river. It was beautiful. And those rivers, you can't really go in them now and they're like, it's not that bad. Well, it is that bad. Like, you can't go in the river because the water's polluted.
New Zealand is a great opportunity for us now to move away from this sort of unsustainable dairy farming and cattle farming, and we could be picking up things like oats and hemp and making that change on a national level.
I don't think any vegans are really anti-farmers. We're anti sort of the way operations go, and when you get intensification, and it's like, it's almost like when you look back in the 70s and they thought it would be a great idea to throw toxic waste barrels in the ocean. They're like, it just floats away. It just goes somewhere else. And we're now in a world where it doesn't go anywhere else. It's all here and we have to deal with it. I think a lot of people go, what difference will I make? I'm just one person, but all it takes is everyone at some point goes, okay, we do care and we do want to fix this. We're not just going to sort of slide backwards off the saddle into the dirt and give up.
It's not sort of what you can't eat, because there's only really 5 to 7 things that you're actually cutting out of your diet, and really looking into nutrition as well, what your body needs and where you get it from. In winter, it's more roasted veggies and all the sort of produce that's out then. Where in the summer, we've just been through all the nice, fresh, summery things.
We both have a common belief that food that's served needs to have like love and good energy behind it.
And if you can impress yourself, I think that's the first step to being able to impress others.
Some people come here and think they're going to get like mashed lentils and a bit of lettuce, you know.
Or heaps of lettuce.
Or heaps of lettuce.
Yeah. I kind of just developed the spice mix and added some unique flavour into there that would be hard to pick. So they're made out of seitan, which is made from gluten flour or wheat protein. So you basically make a dough with spices and the flour and herbs, and then you cook it in different ways to get different results. To get someone that's more focused on sort of animal protein to really enjoy it, I think that's really when you know you're kind of succeeding in what you're doing.
Basically decided I'll name these burgers, and I just started with like, I figured I'd start back at musicians I like that were like back in the day, and that would be a good platform. So we ended up with Nina Simone and Helen and Lou Reed. We're always talking about music. It's a real common thread with Simon and I. We've got a band called Tokemaster. Some of these names are there to kind of pin our flag up and say, you know, these are the things that we care about. Everyone can see what we're doing all the time. So there's a performance aspect to the cooking as well.
And I've never really done front of house, so it's sort of pretty new to me to have to talk to people. I've always been sort of locked in the dungeon in the kitchen, so it's sort of been good even just for myself personally, sort of interacting with the customers and making new friends out of it.
The people who've given their time as well, like even like our artists, you know, they've come in just wanting to do something cool and contribute.
The amount of people offering to help us has been sort of not overwhelming, but it's just, wow, it's sort of amazing.
This place kind of has built this community around it now where, you know, so many of our customers, you know, we know them now, we've made friends with so many people.
It's helped to feel connected to a growing community of veganism in Wellington.
I think we could be a world leader in vegan food and promotion of vegan lifestyle.
Having a little bit of a hub of vegan spaces up this end of Cuba Street is obviously going to be helpful for us. Small businesses in Wellington are really supportive of each other, and it's not specifically just about you know, vegan businesses. We work together, all friendly, see each other around, and that's, I think, it's fantastic. There's definitely much more a spirit of cooperation than there is of competition.
I sort of think, well, he's got it going on, and it's just going to be moving forward. We try and not really have any accounts with big companies because it's sort of, that's what gets people into trouble.
So yeah, we buy everything from, if we can, it's, yeah, even you know, family-owned businesses is the best way to do it. It's local shops and stuff, you know. And then I think that the other people that were instrumental was our mums, because that's how we got our funding. Like our mums, even though we've caused them all sorts of trouble and whatnot, they were basically our backing to start this.
We've overcome some pretty big hurdles along the way. Like when we first opened, it went really well, and then sort of 2 months in, yeah, it was sort of that bad omen, like when my mum died, and business just went terrible for like 2 months. And we were sort of 1 week away from sort of shutting up, like one day almost. And we just kept the positive buzz and kept the good food, and lucky for us, sort of that won through with people coming in.
It's a good test of mental fortitude though, you know, like we never try to get too down or, you know, oh, you know, this is terrible. We always try to be, you know, positive about it and keep rolling every day, set up, just keep going. I hope though that as well that we can be an inspiration to people that, you know, you can do it. You just have to think really outside the box. We went with a less interfering approach with the pigeons, but he feeds them so much. I don't feed them, so they don't like me.
I'm dead, Jesus.
I'm holding birds, not your
How's that?
Does my one not
That's beautiful.
leave the planet to people that want to have the planet?
They just,
you know,
no, we
instead
could
of-
just divvy up. They could have their own, like, they could have the outback.
Yeah.
Heaps of land there.
Yep.
That's been awesome to see. Get that fucking bird out of there.